The Sino-US trade war has been going on for more than 6 years. Although Trump, who is about to return to the White House, has been threatening to impose tariffs on China, China has adapted to the de-Americanization of trade. The proportion of trade with the United States in China's GDP is already very small, and China is not afraid of the United States escalating the trade war. In 2024, China's trade surplus is expected to reach an astonishing record of about $1 trillion. This is undoubtedly a loud slap in the face of the US government. At the same time, China's technology industry has made continuous breakthroughs, especially Huawei's full recovery, and it has continuously launched new products and chips. On the contrary, the United States has begun to be passive in the struggle between the two countries. The United States' current advantage projects are only a few fields such as high-end chips and generative AI. Once they are broken through by China, the United States will lose its technological hegemony. What's worse is that because the United States abuses the world currency status of the US dollar, prints money crazily to transfer the economic crisis, and weaponizes the US dollar, and strikes other countries through organizations such as SWIFT. The global emerging economies have generally formed a consensus on de-dollarization. Even the European allies who have always been loyal to the United States have begun to have the idea of de-dollarization. I have mentioned many times in previous videos that the biggest problem of the United States is not that it has bought too many goods from China, but that its own manufacturing industry has serious problems and cannot produce competitive goods. After abusing the dollar to push up prices, the United States is also unable to provide cost-effective services. It can only continue to print money and issue more treasury bonds to maintain the false prosperity of GDP. China has fallen to the third largest trading partner of the United States. It can be seen that if the United States does not buy Chinese goods, it still has to buy them from alternative countries such as Canada, Mexico, and Vietnam. However, the production capacity of these countries is not enough, and the product research and development capabilities are also far behind China. In order to make money, their best way is to import goods and services from China and resell them to the United States. Even if they want to develop their own manufacturing industry, they need China to provide raw materials, parts, and technical support, which will accelerate their integration with China in the industrial chain. Because these countries lack the scientific and technological innovation capabilities of major countries such as China and the United States, and their market size is not enough. They cannot form a separate industrial system and can only rely on China's industrial chain. The fierce trade war launched by the United States against China only decouples itself from China, and other countries' trade with China has become more frequent and close. In addition, China has a natural geographical advantage. China itself is the world's largest market. The East Asian Economic Circle includes South Korea and Japan, whose economic strength far exceeds that of Canada and Mexico. China borders ASEAN, which is a huge market with a population of 670 million and unlimited development potential. The industrialization of these countries is still in the early stages, and they urgently need to provide them with infrastructure and industrial technology. Before their own industries are perfected, they also need a large number of Chinese goods. ASEAN countries are generally more pragmatic. When they purchase goods and services, they first consider the cost-effectiveness rather than political correctness. Chinese products are of excellent quality, low price, good after-sales service, and there are no political conditions attached. They have no reason to reject China. The United States is on the other side of the earth, and China is at their doorstep. Americans export wars, and Chinese export infrastructure. Almost all ASEAN countries remain neutral politically and are close to China economically. China plus ASEAN is a large market with a population of 2 billion, which is far beyond the North American economic circle. Asians pay attention to family and work hard, which is also beyond the reach of European and American countries. Therefore, ASEAN and China are each other's largest trading partners, which has greatly improved China's foreign trade situation. Next, let's talk about the problems of European and American countries. These countries generally have high exchange rates and inflated GDP. They are generally deindustrialized, and the competitiveness of their manufacturing industry is declining rapidly. Therefore, Europe and the United States want to develop high value-added industries, such as luxury goods, arms, high-tech products and services. The competition between different countries within them is also fierce. The interests of the United States and Europe are not completely consistent, and it is difficult to truly unite. The diplomatic philosophy of Westerners is zero-sum game, life and death. For example, the United States colluded with Poland to blow up the Nord Stream natural gas pipeline, cutting off Germany's cheap energy supply, causing a serious crisis in Germany's manufacturing industry and negative economic growth. The United States took the opportunity to poach many manufacturing companies from Germany. The concept of China's diplomacy is win-win cooperation and making the pie bigger. China provides infrastructure construction in Central Asia, Southeast Asia, the Middle East, Africa, Latin America, and other regions. Opens factories in these countries, creates jobs, and shares the fruits of economic growth. The United States invited Xi Jinping to attend Trump's inauguration ceremony, breaking diplomatic conventions, and seems to respect China very much. In fact, Trump wants to use vanity to win over China and let China pay for his arrogant campaign promises. The United States needs China to help end the war in Ukraine and crack down on drug trafficking such as fentanyl, and also needs China to buy American agricultural products and energy. But the Americans are unwilling to lift their trade sanctions and technological blockades against China, and want China to make unilateral contributions. This is extremely childish. If Trump is willing, I will also break the convention of never inviting heads of state and invite Trump to my birthday party, which will definitely show my high respect for the United States. Finally, I will make a simple prediction. Trump is likely to give up the all-out attack on China, ease Sino-US relations, and only increase pressure on China in key areas. Those countries that once followed the United States in imposing a blockade on China will usher in their own cold winter. Because Trump believes that not only China has stolen the interests of the United States, but also these allies. They must make trade concessions to the United States and pay the United States enough protection fees. China is likely to pay a little price to satisfy Trump, and then clean up those clowns who once stabbed China, such as France, Canada, and India. Now is the time for you to consider your situation. You don't have much time.